Hello children, welcome back once again. To continue with my previous topic, here I am going to discuss with you about the topic beyond the four varnas, subordinations and conflict. Yes children, in our last topic we discussed about the caste and caste system, the division of the occupations, classifications of the occupations on the basis of the caste and all, where we have discussed about four varnas: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudras. Now, in these classifications, apart from this four varna, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudras, a certain group of people were classified as the low birth, okay, and they were classified as untouchables. In other terms, a specific term is being used to describe them as a chandalas. Okay, so in this topic I'm going to discuss with you about who were those untouchables or chandalas. What were the Brahmanical norms says about these chandalas and all. What are the Brahmanical prescriptions and all. How they Brahmanical norms expect the chandalas to perform their activities and all. Okay, look at the book there. While the Brahmanas considered some people as being outside the system, they also developed a sharper social divide by classifying certain social categories as untouchables. These rested on a notion that certain activities, especially those connected with the performance of rituals, were sacred and by extension pure. Those who considered themselves pure avoided taking food from them. Food from those they designated as untouchables, in sharp contrast to the purity aspect. Now, as I told you already, the people who belongs to so-called high caste categories, they actually tried to segregate themselves from the people, those who belongs to the low caste category, especially the untouchables. Untouchables are the people who are who belongs to the lowest lowest grade in this varna-based society, and they were considered as impure. The term untouchable itself explain that these people are not touchable. They cannot be touched. Or even there are some instances, in some cases, especially those people who perform the the religious rituals and all, who perform the sacrifices and all, who conduct those religious sacrifices and all in normal way, the one who belong to the high caste category, they sometimes even see that, or even believe that these people, the untouchables, cannot be seen also. Okay, it is not only that they are not being touched, okay, or they cannot be touched, but in some cases there are some instances where they don't want to see them, and if they see them, they consider themselves, they have become polluted. Okay, so seeing them was considered as becoming a polluted. Okay, so they don't take food. The people, so-called high caste people, they don't take food from the people belonging to these untouchable categories. They don't take water even from their house or their places. The people who belongs to these untouchable categories were not allowed to fetch water and all from the place from where other so-called high caste people take waters and all. Okay, and in the extreme situations, the people belonging to these untouchable categories, especially the chandalas, they were not even allowed to reside within the residential areas where the people belonging to so-called high caste people live. Okay, so these chandalas were the residents of these chandalas were located outside the residences of those people who belongs to so-called high caste category. Okay, now They were not only, they were not only, I mean, they don't only have to stay outside the place where the other people live in, other so-called high caste people live in. They were assigned with some different works also. Okay, as per the Manusmriti, the Manusmriti have specifically given a different type of, occupations to these chandalas, or the people who belongs to this untouchable category. Now, they were expected to perform the work like handling corpses and dead animals. Okay, they were expected to, the people belonging to this Chandala category were expected to burn the dead bodies and all, and at the same time they were also, expected, I mean, their occupation was to, I mean, handle the dead animals. Okay, to take away the skin and all of the dead animals and all. Those who performed such tasks, designated as chandalas, were placed at the very bottom of the hierarchy. Their touch, and in some cases even seeing them, was regarded as polluting. I told it already. Now, the Manusmriti laid down the duties of the chandalas. They had to live outside the village, use discarded utensils, and wear clothes of the dead and ornaments of iron. Now, specific norms are being prescribed, especially by this Manusmriti, to be which was to be expected to be followed by the Chandalas. I already told you, they were expected to live outside the society, okay, outside the village where other people are living. They were expected to use the discarded with utensils and all. They were expected to expected to wear the clothes of the dead people. Okay, and they were not allowed to wear the ornaments like the other people. They only one ornament they can use is the ornament made of iron. Okay, and normally the ornament of iron is not being worn by the people belonging to the so-called high caste category, right? So they could not walk about in villages and cities at night. They were not expected to come to the village at night, because at night they may not be recognized. Okay, if they may not be recognized, then it may happen that they can touch them, or other people belonging to the so-called high caste category, they can touch them or they can see them and all. So they were not allowed to enter the village at night. Okay, it is not that they were not allowed to enter the village only, because at daytime they have to come to the village, they have to perform various menial works there. Okay, like cleaning of the different things and all, cleaning of toilets and all, collection of the garbages. Okay, and taking away the dead bodies and all, especially the dead bodies of those people who don't have anyone to take care of their dead bodies and all. Okay, and taking away the dead bodies of the dead animals and all. So for that they need to come to the village, but at night they were not expected to enter the village. Okay, in some cases it is said that those people, they have to act as an executioner. I told you already, they have to act as an executioner for those people who don't have their relatives. Okay, Mar gaya, the one who died, but they don't have anyone to look them upon. To take care of those dead body and all. So it is expected that the Chandalas should take away the dead body and they should dispose those dead body, or they should burn or do whatever the things need to be done. Right. Much later, through the account of two Chinese travelers. One is Fahian, who came to India during somewhere around 5th century CE, and another one is Huizang, who came to India somewhere around 7th century CE. Okay, so in their account also there is mention of the people called Chandalas, or so-called untouchables. Okay, they have written that in some cases if these Chandals enter the village, at that time they have to, sound the clappers while walking down the roads in the villages, so that the other people, will understand that yes, Chandalas, they are being walking on the road, so they avoid to come out to the streets and all at that time, so that they don't have to see that, they don't have to pollute themselves by seeing those Chandalas and all. Okay, now by examining non-Brahminical texts which depict the lives of Chandalas, historians have tried to find out whether Chandalas accepted the life of degradation prescribed in the Shastra. Now, historians also tried to find about whether, this type of the prescriptions, this type of the degraded prescriptions to the Chandalas were accepted or were acceptable for them, or whether there are some instances where they try to, go against this type of Brahmanical evidences or Brahmanical norms and rules. Okay, so to find those, evidences, historians try to look at the non-Brahmanical text. Okay, so by going through this non-Brahmanical text, they try to find out whether whether Chandalas accepted their degraded positions happily, or they try to revolt against it, or they try to go against it. While going through these sort of, evidences, historians have found that yes, there were some instances where Chandalas did not like the position prescribed to them by the Brahmanical, norms. Okay, there is an example from the Matang Jataka, a Pali text, okay, where there is a small story about a Chandala named Matanga. Later on, he became a very famous, sage also. He became a rishi also, Matang Rishi. Okay, so you just go through this particular source, particular source at source number 10. So you'll understand that, how in some cases these Chandalas or the people belonging to that, lowest category in the society try to revolt against the, prescriptions of the Brahmanical text. Okay, thank you, children. We'll once again meet in our next topic in my next video. Here in our next topic, we will discuss about the, social, social contract theory, right? Okay, thank you.